Okay, we've already got more data logs. There's probably going to be a lot in here. It's a notebook. This morning, unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of reception's need for additional support. We appreciate the Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project, but as the staff who serve on the front line, we're tired of being neglected. As we have already requested, we need human translators fluent in Polish, for example, security staff who can subdue enraged embryologists, for example, and dermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff, for example. Yes, most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well behaved, but we need a help in handling the exceptions to that rule. Please respond. But, as always, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you're having a good morning, afternoon, and evening, and welcome back to Horizon Zero Dawn. Hopefully you're having a good week or a good weekend, depending on when this video goes out. And we have infiltrated Zero Dawn itself. Reception staff continues to require additional support managing Zero Dawn candidates when they arrive at the facility. Many are frightened or confused, some are highly agitated. These are not the sort of persons who are accustomed to having information withheld from them. At minimum, we need human translators. The Lang bots are not sufficient, and mild sedatives for the extreme cases. Any and all support will be welcome. Perhaps you could try and start by responding to one of these emails. Well, I'm a person that wants something there and then. When it comes to an email, I send an email, I want a response back in the next 3 hours.
Please take
you know?
a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
Beverages and snacks. For the 5th time, please restock the lounge selection of herbal teas. If I have to listen to one more egghead throw a tantrum because we're out of organic cucumber mint or blackberry sage varieties, I am going to lose it. Please respond, and this time, no tempest in a teapot or steep demand jokes, okay? Lol. Lol. Some blaze. Another databad. Would it be possible to improve the soundproofing between VR1 and the lounge area? Most of the candidates stay quiet during the presentation, but the ones who scream or sob can be plainly heard by candidates waiting their turn in the lounge. Just a thought.
Please proceed into viewing room 1 for an important message regarding...
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Oh.
Welcome to Project Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret super weapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them. And they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a super weapons program, and it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down, the entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating. waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. 0 Day. The day that life on Earth ceases to exist is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
Damn. Damn, so...
Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it.
Obviously, he was speaking to somebody, like, in the
Astros.
future.
They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it!
What is this place? Tomb?
With Suzanne Alpert, environmental scientist. Doctor? Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
nothing the General said. Not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. Still dream about it after all these years. The red zone spreading, imaging slowly, so slowly like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow. Yeah. But the red zone is a complete biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time again. So you'd better show me what
Close to
Zero
the
Dawn
clock.
really
Stop
is.
now. The data points. What do they contain?
Damn. For debriefing after presentation 1, candidates must be allowed to ask questions and be given the necessary time to fully absorb the information they have received. It is important to be aware that candidates have been exposed to triggers for several mental and emotional trauma. Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It is essential to stress that all other options for combining the Pharaoh Plague or preserving the continuation of human life have considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly but clearly and firmly. Familiarize yourself with the data on the catastrophic environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm, Adenum B1, and unfeasibility and maintaining life in orbital, lunar, and undersea structures, Adendacy 1, 2, and 3, so that you can counter candidates' objections in depth. If the candidate asks for time alone to review supplementary information, allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform security personnel so the candidate can be monitored for attempts at self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is sufficiently stable. Note that the real-time support will be available via your focus security and medical crisis teams or data corrupted.
I'm sure you now understand the urgency of why we brought you here, Ms. Okilo.
Captain Okilo, are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we couldn't negotiate a diplomatic solution.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Hera said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since 57? That went nowhere real slow. And you...
Initiating playback.
Elizabeth Sobek.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
Holy shit.
The whole Earth. destroyed.
But then remade by Gaia.
Remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life. For us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Well, that got a little juicy. Because, like, we are now, like I said, like, very early on, like, we were just found in a room. So was we made by Gaia? The AI? And then you have some people who have kind of progressed through life and not understand what's going on, but Apollo is the history books and everything, so nobody's really found it to understand and learn from the mistakes that's happened in the past. Brain goes crazy. That was spicy. What's this? You are now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. Participation. You will be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You will be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week, and your communications with family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate families, or 2 persons of your choosing, will be transferred to the Asylum, Elysium, sealed habitat to live out the remainder of your natural lives. Indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you'll be confined indefinitely. You'll be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered, irrevocable. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term or confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted to contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh plague is inevitable. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical enthusiasm will be released. Medical euthanasia? I don't know what else word says. The information you have just received understandably calls into the question for purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you are ready to make your choice, or if you have any further questions. Ooh.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. Better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. Isn't it just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom? I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
If you're still nauseous. No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this.
I wish.
But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No. Life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East. Like the Congo. Like Timor. Like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
You'd grow old together, with your loved ones, in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Albert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry?
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of
Euthanasia.
This. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
Euthanasia. That's how you say it.
See to make sure I behave this time.
Medical waiting
Security,
inaccessible.
for your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. He's kind of blue skying. It's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What did you... You know... Get your hands off me!
Nope.
Intruder! Get her!
Whatever you do, don't die now.
Oh, I release. Okay, pick these back up. Because they didn't want to move. I thought they was going to come towards me, if I was going to be honest with you.
Power's down.
Is there another route?
I've done this before. Just need my focus.
Now, those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up on me. I'm just calling it like it is.
Here we go.
Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn, and no ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural to be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too, just one.
Done. I should check the door nearby. There's a part missing. Maybe there's a storage area nearby.
A piece missing.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
Did I hear correctly saying it's backwards?
Full already.
Zero Dawn. It is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history.
Oh, did not want to end that.
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years. So the idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For
Where's
there
the
to have been
storage
all
room?
this and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to it. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then.
Found it.
For life's sake, I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic, attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid-state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe, anyway.
It was just the one, that was missing. Yeah. And I did hear that she said he installed it backwards, apparently. So I'll just turn that one full 360 for some reason. Down. Right. Down. Left and up. Just going anti-clockwise. Up, right, down, left, up. Oh, I bet you it's the other way, isn't it? Up. Left. Down. Right, up. What? Up? Oh, wait a minute. Down. West. Up. East. Down. Is that how he's done it?
That did it.
Yeah.
Should have power.
I had to flip the arrows the other way.
Lies beyond it.
It wasn't in reverse order, it was in directional order. Directional reverse. Hello?
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Eclipse.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
Time to fight.
Get over here.
Ow!
Clear.
Structural failure. Repeat. Alert. Area inaccessible. Elevators non-operational. Stairwells have collapsed.
You will perish.
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Jeez.
You have to find Gaia.
Gaia. Oh god, there's gonna be so much.
Hello,
like
I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulations, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical at places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, the Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
wow, you weren't kidding about Gaia's predilection for animal morphologies. Sure, not totally unexpected given the rough natural terrain her bots will have to navigate, but I agree there is something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional, they feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind, as though she's already mourning the loss. And not just for the disappearing fauna at our time, but creatures from the fossil record too. References to a megafauna in some of her designs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Epithetius, or whatever this shit she said, you should have said, will empower her to build it. I just wish we could still be around in a century or two to see what she makes. Ooh. So it's like they're making the AI to combat the AI. If I doubted her brilliance in the slightest, I would have picked you up as the Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. You are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction of and stacking of bootstrap silos to store raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for an foundry core and foundry site selection plan, add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail, consult with Aomide Okilo before you finalize the silo inventories. First task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes, so any exotic materials needed for towers should be accounted for in the inventory plan. Elizabeth. Oh yeah. Hello? Friendly? Friendly? Oh, where the hell am I going from in here? Just getting even deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Just lore, lore, lore. And more lore.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Keep looking.
More Eclipse.
Careful now.
Where? Oh. Right there. Thought he was carrying a guitar.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula. by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
No turning back.
Everything is fine.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my... We're the largest mechanized force ever assembled.
The last of them.
But to what end? My only lasting...
in a cave of wonders.
My only lasting...
Look around. See if anything is left.
Sneaky sneak.
Welcome to Hades. Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol.
Travis Tate.
The ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos, a spinning top that won't stop wobbling. And what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocate it. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the Void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
Welcome to the Void.
Damn it. Welcome to the Void. Travis Tate. He sounds like a not so nice guy. From Travis Tate to Elizabeth Sobot, noise complaints. Call me confounded, Lizzie Bashcore. Anyone who says the old TT codes to Bashcore is straight up lying, and you know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle dazz, nuh-huh. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Kitarum runoff than listen to a grey swarm for 30 seconds. Hand to God and swear my mama's grave, and she was religious. No, that ain't Bashcore Blast in the Hades lab, shaking the walls, rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Classic metal. 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal theme stuff too. Stop by if you want to listen, or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no Bashcore you'll see or hear, rather in the screech that rends the air, and feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor and the walls and the ceiling swelling you like you was Jonah trapped in the gullet of gothic deathfish. Hallelujah. And for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I chord. Turn down my death metal. Might as well give up the stimulants, chocolate malts, and industrial accidental vids. Last I heard, we were supposed to be coding Hades down here, and I'm really supposed to code an extinction protocol without death metal to inspire me. No, I don't think so. Stay cool, Trav. So is Trav the programmer of Hades? I don't know which one I just collected. Archive abuse. Also, it was this one. Tate here, just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every upsertion protocol I designed failed in simulation because I was either too hard or too soft. Too hard, and I degraded the Gaia's core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers over the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too, so that couldn't fly. Everything depended on Gaia taking control back after Hades was done its business, so I had to find a solution that didn't have Gaia any worse for the wear. Too soft, and Gaia only pretended to relinquish control. In simulation after simulation, Hades would take command of the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly reversing processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interference. Sneaky. I swear it ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it's just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective cold shell, preserving its integrity. Then unseat it from command position so Hades can slip into a figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are plenty strong. Guess it's time to sleep and bed. I'll be back tomorrow, alligators. Yeah, this guy, dude. This guy. And then, what was the other one? Archive something? Abusive from Samina Abaji to Travis Tate. This mail contains Apollo Archive submission. Your 666 submission in just 5 days, and oh wait, what a doozy. Despite early warnings, inappropriate materials, you choose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classics of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 counts. 1, for giving me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. It truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experience not just one, but all 16 installments of making a millipede. Don't worry, the Pasolini material has already been preserved, extreme perhaps, but art. 2. The clarifying concept that has so long been ambiguous and ethically fraught from activists such as myself. Definition of obscenity just have freed me from the subjective quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's famous utterance, "I know it when I see it." Thanks to you, I can now apply a single objective criterion. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. According, I have directed Apollo staff of summarily to reject all of your future submissions sight unseen. Perhaps you might have invested the time you would have spent preparing further submissions on, or, I don't know, your assigned work. We have a world to save after all, or the rest of us do anyway. Huh, okay.
Looks like the only way onwards.
Oh boy, what's in here? Another notebook? Jesus. The ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I've spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. They're a revelation astonishing. I don't know what you had to give for Zenith in trade to give these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risk of ECMO resolved. Nutrition delivery resolved. Hormonal stability resolved. 12 other risk areas resolved. Before I examined these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand. But if the rest of FC's technology is at level well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem an impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will prevent a number of challenges, but I'm confident they will be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours and get back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 48 hours. Do I need to activate this?
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
Let us begin. Cradle sealed. Eleuthia 1 has successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province could detect it. Ping back from crucial systems is good. For our maiden voyage, a success. Regards my disputes with the betas after zygote selection. Of course, I understand we have a limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow in our future humans, but we can all agree that there is a margin of refinement in future cradle populations. In addition to personally overseeing completion of the Thulia 2 site main inside Mount Namuli, I formulate and propose a modified zygote selection plan within a week. Cryo chambers, clones. Obviously, I'm a clone of Elizabeth. I have to be. Development of the artificial persona for Cradle servitors, nurturer, disciplinarian, healer continues as a good pace. We are targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to the codified behavior sets. The stimulus-driven switching of persona, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning the entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian or healer persona. I have also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother persona intervened on the disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will, amusing on the first glance perhaps, but deeply concerning. I have attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings in just Data Corrupted. Can't get them.
Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
Would benefit from antilopinate morphologies, though caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.
She has feelings. This good old Gaia.
You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all things.
Eh? Not fair.
No room.
I always keep walking up to these to kind of like activate them. Odyssey has failed. From Elizabeth Sobeck to all alphas. All. Some terrible news, I'm afraid. For Zenith has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure as the drive spun up to depart the solar system. The ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo were all lost. Zero Dawn is now the only hope for the continuation of the human species and earthly life. We must succeed, Elizabeth. Artemis status. From Charles Ronson to Elizabeth Sobeck. It's coming along, Liz. I'm positive about it. If those words can still mean anything, had my sleeves rolled up negotiating with frozen zoos for the samples, so many species trapped in the ghoulish hologram dioramas, suspended in what-ifs, more than 14,000 that went extinct between 2000 and 2043. We've started mapping out primary successions, selecting the pioneer organisms for the balanced and sustainable biosphere, microorganisms and insects, rabbits and hawks, foxes and wolves. Thousands more that will have to wait their term until our new generation can be entrusted with the duty of restoring them, so they can return to a world that this time will understand the concept of conservation before it's too late. There's already been too many too lates. We lost a whole collection team during the swarm breakthrough in Myanmar. The samples are all lost, well, irreplaceable. But thanks to you, Liz, the circle of life will bend, not break. The earth will lifeless rock before, and someday it will again, but not now. Not like this, not on our watch, Ronson.
The Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
Copy the file and take it to Mother Mountain.
With this, I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Gaia.
Are you really so naive? There will be no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine. But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Gaia created her to stop Hades.
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.
What is that? Oh, it's him. I recognize those eyes.
Still alive. Good. I have a more suitable death in mind for you, child.
Plus, a quicker way of getting out of this place, I'm not going to lie to you. That'll be like another hour to run around and get out of there. I bet you he's put me in the bloody pit.
My entire life,
He has.
I've always known one thing with prophetic certainty. That I was destined for glory as a great champion of the sun. Even when Jiran was murdered, even when Meridian fell, I never doubted my destiny. Until you came along. When I heard that you had survived, a doubt took root in my mind. As sure as the sun rises and falls each day, those I am bade to kill die. And yet I failed. How? Why? With each dig site you attacked, each loyal soldier you killed, this pestering doubt grew. I kept thinking of the moment my knife pierced your throat. One twist, a simple tug of the blade, and you would have bled out. In slaughter, I am a practiced hand. So why hesitate? Why fail my destined purpose?
See that scar on your cheek? You didn't get to finish.
Yes, I remember. He fought well. For a savage.
His name was Rost, and he was a better man than you could ever hope to be.
The better man is the one who doesn't end up with his guts steaming on the ground. No, it wasn't him. I could have finished you before he attacked. But I didn't. This failing troubled my thoughts, haunted every step. It was only when I captured you, down in that place, that I finally glimpsed the sun's design etched at length across the course of events. You were meant to survive that day on the mountain. Meant to interfere at dig sites and kill my men. Conversely, I was meant to capture you. Here. So that you might die as a sacrificial offering to the sun. Everything as it was meant to be. Predestined and preordained.
Some destiny. You're following orders, not some grand cosmic design. You're a puppet, with Hades yanking the strings, a pawn pushed around by larger forces. It'd be laughable if there weren't so much killing involved. Hades is an ancient machine, not the buried shadow of Karja myth. It doesn't care about Meridian. It wants to kill everything and everyone. And you are its dutiful slave.
I serve not the buried shadow, but the sun in shadow. All halves of nature joined to one cause. Shadow to sun, dark to light.
Do you really not hear how ridiculous that sounds? You've gone from serving an insane homicidal Sun King to an insane homicidal machine. You're moving down in the world, not up.
I'll remember those words as I watch your corpse burn. Whatever's left of it. You fail to grasp the point. As surely as you've been conquered, so has all doubt. And with certainty of belief comes unstoppable force.
Then open this cage and put your faith to the test. See if things work out like you expect.
The circle has closed. Every element is in its proper place, exactly where it belongs. The errant beast, now caged, will serve her true purpose. A sacrificial animal. Oh, speaking of sacrifice, I forgot to tell you. After you crashed the Eclipse network, I sent messengers into the east to rally the forces there and mount an invasion of the sacred land. I ordered every Nora killed. I was hoping to catch you there, but alas, it all seems to have been unnecessary.
Why butcher dozens of innocents for no gain? It's a waste of effort.
You're right. I won't even be there to enjoy it. In any case, I couldn't recall the order even if I wished to. Thanks to your destruction of the network, communication over distances is impossible. You not only doomed yourself, but an entire tribe.
Oh shit.
Do we not see the scorching judgment of the sun in these events? Your focus. Such a powerful device, isn't it? And yet, so fragile. So you see, this time, I did not hesitate. The knife has already been twisted.
Oh shit. This is going to get bloody juicy. It's time for a battle.
Karja faithful, rejoice! Our years in shadow are over. A new dawn trembles on the horizon. A new day soon to break. And when it does, the false Sun King will be dead, and Holy Meridian ours once more. In this, I have become an instrument of prophecy. All halves of nature join to one cause. Shadow to sun, light to dark, night to day. Behold! Hold your seats! Can you not see the proof of the sun's blessing before your eyes? How else could shadows such as these prowl in broad light of day? Were they not approved by the sun and joined to our cause? Many years ago, to consecrate this great ring, the Radiant Turan ordered many faithless, crushed beneath the hooves of the behemoth. Mighty is the behemoth in the eye of the sun, but it is mightier still in beauty and power of shadow. Let this one, who schemed and slithered, be the first to die. Let her be the first of thousands.
No. Not me. The machines will be the first to die. Because I'm gonna kick ass. Uh-oh. Just give me my ball. That's all I need. Let's do this.